Hey Saji, what's going on? So let me go and explain to you a couple things that are going on, at least with me and my channel. So I'm running a special, which includes reading at a discounted price. And it's going to be 2 questions for, I'm sorry, I just got stuck there. 2 questions, 30 minutes, and it's going to be 22 bucks. And this is based upon relationships. That's what I'm kind of focusing the spread on being. Because I've been noticing a lot of people are having a lot of relationship issues right now, which I don't blame them. I mean, you know, given everything that's going on with the sky, and it's crazy right now, right? But if you do want to take advantage of this little discount I have going on right now, a little special, the spread is going to be different than the one that I'm doing right now for you. This particular spread is a 9-card spread, and basically what it is it's more for you as an individual, right? How you are maybe being portrayed, or how you are exuding, you know, some energies, putting things out there. So this is more just for you as a, you know, personally. The spread is going to be couple based, so it's going to be you as well as someone else, a person of interest maybe. And it's going to be how both of you feel as an individual and also together within the relationship. Doesn't necessarily have to be relationship. It could do general as well. But if you'd like to take advantage of it, just go ahead and check the description box. Everything's there in terms of information about it. There's also a link there to my website where you can go to book it and also pay for the reading through PayPal and all that good stuff. So yeah. If you'd like to take advantage of it, like I said, go and check out the description box. Do one more shuffle, and then we'll go and get started. Okay. Guardian angels of love and light, ancestors, lost and known in the seas of time, please intercede into this reading to provide Sagittarius with the clarity and direction as to which he or she seeks. And please grant me, the reader, the objectivity to read the cards and relay the messages as they are meant to be. Okay, let's go and get started. So, everything seems to be okay, Sag, right? I think so. Things may feel sort of, you know, like things can maybe seem to be or seem to kind of, or have, what can I say, have the ability to get out of control maybe a little bit. Some like craziness is kind of going on, but I feel like your partner probably balances you out a little bit sometimes, or can have their moments where they do. They're able to maybe help you kind of control that little fire you have going on. Yeah. But then, you know, Sad, you have to ask yourself, you know, like, is my flame a little too bright? It sounds kind of rude, but, you know, is it bright enough to where people acknowledge it and it's great, you know, and you just have this wonderful, you know, spark to you. But sometimes, you know, we can turn our fire up a little bit too high. You know, I have an Aries moon, so I get it. Our fire can be a little too high, and then people can then become maybe blinded by it. And then people can then just be like, oh my God, what's wrong with him? Like, seems like he's a little too overconfident there, you know? It happens. But other than that, I mean, I feel like things maybe would be okay for you. Let's see what Spirit wants to pop out for you. All right, Sag, what's going on? There we go. Yeah, I'm going to take these two. Okay. Nine of Swords here. The High Priestess in reverse. Okay, Sag, so feeling a little down on ourselves maybe, or about ourselves, or maybe about our relationship. Remember how I said maybe our fire's a little bit too high or too bright sometimes? There's nothing wrong with having confidence, of course. You know, it's a great thing. But, you know, we have to remember that because we have confidence, it's because, now it's not always like this. It's not always the case. The Six of Pentacles. That one flew out on the floor. It's not always the case, but when it's coming from a good place, you know, the confidence, self-confidence specifically, it's because we know who we are, you know? And it's because we know what we have to offer. We know and are confident in ourselves. And when you become confident in yourself as so, you know, in an appropriate manner, given, you know, that everything's positive, you don't necessarily have to put too much emphasis on things or on yourself. And therefore you understand that, you know, you're an individual that necessarily doesn't have to be. I'm going to take this one. Son of Cups. You don't have to be an individual who needs to maybe put a show on and do all of those things because you know that that's not really the proper way to carry yourself because of the self-confidence and the reassurance, you know, or the assurance of who you are as a person. But when sometimes we do become blinded by maybe our achievements or things of that nature, once again, it's good to be proud of yourself for the achievements that you made, of course. But because of our achievements, we shouldn't, you know, expect other people to look at us in a way that it becomes, or the perception that we expect becomes somewhat arrogant, or it comes from an arrogant place like, oh, because, you know, I'm this person, you need to look at me like this. No, given, you know, we do expect to be looked at and respected, of course, just on a general, you know, on a general note or a general level. But just because, you know, maybe you're a little bit more successful than someone else, or because you have maybe more money than someone else, that doesn't, you know, give, you know, you or anyone else the right to say, oh, you need to call me Sir Francis. You know, like that, on that kind of note, going like that, or having that expectation that people must then view you a certain way and must respond to you and respect you a certain way because of that. Because then that's not conducive to, you know, being a well-rounded, confident, respectful individual, you know? Daughter of Pentacles. And what we don't realize is when this happens, or we do those, or carry those traits, let me say that, people then kind of don't really want to involve themselves with us. And the people that do tend to usually carry that same, you know, aura around, which, hey, that's how you want to be, that's cool. But then, if this is something that you've earned and you became or become this person, Five of Swords. You become this person and you transformed yourself. Congratulations on that, though. But you come from a different place and from a different origin. And I feel like sometimes when we come from a different origin and then we maybe, up our social, economic status. Father of Swords. We like to be around a certain type of person, or maybe be around those people that we're familiar with as we were growing up. And then when we're not, and we're around those people that, we choose to maybe be like or we've become, we'll find that it's not really that you don't like to be around those people, the types of people, that are like you now that you are successful, or, you transform something about yourself. There's always that sense of, that you want to go back to your roots in a sense and be around those people that, were there with you when you were, let's say at the bottom of the ladder. And when you're not around those types of people, they can, it can make you feel like you're missing something. And this won't be realized until those people are gone, that were like you prior to your, to your climb up the ladder. And in turn, we have adversely affect ourselves. And we don't realize, Two of Pentacles, we don't realize, in reverse, I'm sorry, we don't realize that we're doing this while we are, let me get this camera into focus here. We don't realize that we're actually doing this to ourselves until it's already done, And then that's when we feel that feeling of loss. So I'm just throwing that out there. It's a possibility since it is a general, reading going on here. Three of Wands in reverse. So what ends up happening is when we adversely affect ourselves, we end up with a bunch of, issues that kind of go on or that transpire, and we're left with a bunch of swords in our back. And we then don't feel like we have that completion. We may have a completion, but not a completion of maybe an ideal completion, how we thought that things will be or transpire. It's like a success kind of, a success not really worth winning. Sometimes it feels like that. And I believe that that's why the universe is asking, use your intuition and to kind of come to those moments of realization where, what am I doing that's contributing to maybe that situation, or that's contributing to the downfall of something? Or how am I contributing to what is going on, with me in my life right now? Because I'm kind of feeling or picking up from, this little reading here, that are you really reaping the true and real things that you really want out of life? Because you may be reaping certain things, but are they really the things that you want to reap, or are they the reapings of viability in terms of what makes you feel great or what makes you happy about making certain decisions? Because, it can sometimes be or lead to maybe the ends don't really justify the means. Sometimes that tends to happen. And when that happens, we kind of think that maybe we wasted our time, or we kind of feel like, why did I climb that ladder and why did I want it so bad? You know, when all that really comes of it is, you know, unhappiness. Or I didn't think that, you know, that my life would be as so by trying to achieve that goal. Now we should always, you know, be glad and proud of ourselves that we did achieve something, of course. But sometimes we don't see the true meaning or the lifestyle that comes with that success until we're in it and we're involved in it. And then it's sometimes, if that's what all that we were really working towards, we then say, oh my God, like, wow, like now this is my life. I'm just gonna have to just deal with it now. Which sometimes is being practical about it, but at the same time, you know, you can change it. It's possible. But it becomes tough, or it becomes a little difficult, or where your decisions and your choices are maybe, you know, kind of scarce, or they're hindered because maybe now that you're married, you have children, you have a mortgage, you have bills, and you have to take care of your parents, you know, things of that nature. So it's kind of like, now that you're involved in this, you have other responsibilities. Therefore, you really don't have the freedom to just change careers, or to just change what's going on, or how, or your decisions in terms of how you're living. You know, due to these responsibilities, they're like they're causing restrictions. You know, and having the freedom to actually change and, you know, do all that. But at the same time, we have to realize, you know, like, how are we feeling about certain things, or how are we feeling about these reapings that we are currently achieving or getting? This looks crooked on here. I'm not sure why. Are they things that we foresaw? Did we take certain aspects into consideration? Because, you know, this is how you were feeling. Maybe you could possibly still be feeling like that. But at the same time, you also have to take into account, you know, how you are feeling now. And what is your energy that's coming into this reading? Or what is your energy now? What are you exuding? How are people in your relationship, or the person, your significant other, how are they feeling about you? And how are you responding to them? You know, because maybe you could be feeling maybe quite emotional about certain things. You can maybe be feeling like things weren't really worth it. Because the Son of Cups here, we can say that they're sort of like a page, you know. They're initiators of a certain element, you know, depending upon, you know, which type, if it's cups, pentacles, depending upon that. But specifically, the Son of Cups here is someone who is an initiator in terms of the heart. And they crave to begin to understand feelings, and begin to understand what they're feeling and what's the meaning of the feeling. You know? This is also someone, you can see here, he's not really looking at the cup, right? Because inside of the cup, you know, is his love. And inside of the cup is all that he has to offer in terms of the love. But he's not really acknowledging it too much. It's there, but it's kind of more in his peripheral vision. So it's kind of like not really seeing it, or choosing to ignore it, or just either he's oblivious to it too. That could be it as well. He or she can be any, you know, any sex. And when this happens, we then can't give or offer up that cup if we don't know, you know, or we're not aware of its contents. And maybe it can cause us to be less emotional, or maybe then become frustrated with ourselves because we don't realize the emotions that are going on, or we're not acknowledging them. And in turn, if we don't understand what's going on with ourselves, how are other people supposed to understand? And because of the lack of understanding, they don't know if they're coming or going, or even you sometimes don't even know if you're coming or going. And then they don't know how to approach you, and they don't know how to handle certain situations that arise with you, and they don't, they're just, it can seem from maybe your point of view like, oh, you don't care, you're not doing anything to help me. But if you're not giving them those certain things that they need to understand where you're coming from, you can be upset at them for that, because, we can make other people maybe feel like this. Someone who doesn't feel safe and secure, maybe, or maybe this could be your energy as well. They feel like there isn't a proper foundation there that can make you and that other person, or the other person and you, very happy, or that the foundation or the infrastructure is maybe breaking down, or it's no longer how it used to be. This is someone who's maybe a little radical in their actions. Someone who's unsure. Once again, the daughter like the sun. So this is like a page of pentacles, but in reverse. Someone who's not bringing those proper messages. Someone who's a little confused as to their place. I mean, not necessarily in the world, but their place within their relationships that they can add to their infrastructure. This is someone who isn't maybe gaining or wanting to gain understanding about the physicals of this world, or the materialistics, or a good home life. This is someone who's just kind of, whatever, like, that kind of attitude towards things. And since it's in the middle of your reading, I mean, that could be possibly maybe be the central focus of things. Because when this happens, and we're emotional, and we lack understanding about our emotions, the Five of Swords sometimes tends to come up, the fives in tarot is intermittent fluctuation. Moments of, when things are going up and then things are going down, up and then down. And when it comes to the swords, it has to do with conflict, but not just conflict with other people, but also self-induced or self-afflicted conflict, where things that go on, you kind of bring it to yourself, and you bring it upon yourself, and it's sort of like self-fulfilling prophecies, self-induced. That's why I was saying at the beginning of the reading how we must understand, what we're bringing to the table and the things that we're adding to the situation. How are we contributing to it? And once again, this can be you, or this can be your partner as well. But this is more kind of your perspective, since it's about you, but apply it to your situation. It's because we're not listening to ourselves and we're not trusting our intuition when these things tend to happen. And we must pay attention to the signs, or we must pay attention to what other people are telling us, or how they're responding to us. That's most important too. Because that's the only way that we're ever going to figure it out, or we're going to prevent future things, or future mishaps from transpiring. Let me get this into focus, because I kind of feel, that maybe he can maybe have something to do with it. This is the King of Swords. you know, even though it's Father of Swords, same thing. The King of Swords is someone who has effective communication, you know? But is effective communication going on if our partner and us, or how can I say it? You and your partner, let's just put it that way. You and your partner are not on the same page and they don't really know what's going on if there's conflict. Because anytime that, you know, there is conflict, anytime, it's usually due to either it could be lack of understanding, which is a whole other subject. But usually there wouldn't be a lack of understanding if there was proper communication involved. You know? Usually when we use proper communication, these things don't happen. And this is someone who also rids their emotions to seek the truth. Now, there's nothing really, or really anything wrong with that. But we must be able to discern when we must do that and when we must maybe, you know, seek issues of the heart or seek to begin to understand the issues of the heart. You know? When we must use our feelings or take our feelings into consideration, let's say that. When it's appropriate to do that, or when it's appropriate when to rid your emotions and when to not, you know? Because after this card comes the Two of Pentacles, but in reverse. So if proper communication is happening, and this is a man, or it could be a woman, but for the sake of the card, it's a man of someone who, you know, is a master of communication. Why do they feel like they cannot handle the things that are being given to them or being thrown at them, or not having the confidence to actually handle life's mishaps and to not feel balanced, you know? Because when the Two of Pentacles is in reverse, twos usually imply waiting for something, but when the Two of Pentacles is in reverse, you're not really waiting for something. Something has already came, in a sense, and it's not any type of balance in terms of the Two of Pentacles in reverse. It's not per se, you know, it's not saying that things are so out of control, but the perspective is not there that they can handle it, you know? Sort of like just letting things happen, not really controlling certain things, not really handling the responsibilities the way that they maybe possibly should be handled, and being at that crossroads and just not choosing the right, you know, road to go down. But this is also not having the confidence to actually pursue things and to feel like you can handle it all, which is also, you know, next to the Three of Wands here, which is, excuse me, when the Three of Wands is in reverse, you know, three is an initial achievement or the initial stages of an achievement. When it comes to, you know, the Wands, it's about creativity, usually, optimism, drive. But when the Three of Wands is in reverse, is that initial achievement being obtained? Or is the initial achievement that maybe is being obtained, is it really something of substance or something that's going to benefit? It could also mean, you know, in this deck that you are doing things yourself, right? Because when it's upright, it means that, you know, we're kind of using people as a crutch a little bit. But when it's in reverse, or sometimes can imply, that you're doing it yourself, you know? But what's going on with this? Why is the Two of Pentacles in reverse, you know? Why is the balance not there? Why has your emotions maybe taken over, or what's causing you to maybe need to seek or initiating your understanding of the feelings, which is also good too, don't get me wrong, not good in certain circumstances. And why is Spirit also maybe trying to maybe reveal to you that you need to use your intuition more and you need to trust yourself a little bit more because you don't really have all the answers right now. No? Because, you know, why are we feeling like we're about to hit rock bottom, or we're feeling like whatever completion that's about to come, come to pass isn't really something of viability, like it's not, it's pain instead of happiness. And also, why is the self-affliction coming as well? Why are we feeling like there's so much fluctuation going on? You see where I'm going with it? Like, why are you doing things the way that you're doing them? And it's good that you are attempting to do it yourself, of course. That's great. That's, shows independence and growth. But at the same time, I mean, are you doing it correctly? And also the Three of Wands too, just in general, can mean not really letting people help you, kind of like the Three of Pentacles. I mean, not exactly like it, but sort of. But it's the creativity that you're creating, because it's all in there. But is your creativity, or your idea of the type of creativity and the drive to actually accomplish it, is it in, or with the right mindset? And I kind of feel like maybe you have to overlook ridding yourself of the emotions, and maybe you need to kind of include them a little bit within your relationship or within your dealings. Because when we acknowledge our feelings, that's when we then can use our intuition properly. That's when we know whether we're coming or we're going, how we're going to do things, how we're going to handle it. That's when we also take other people's feelings into consideration when it comes to our relationships and it comes to, our family. We must do that. We can't just do what makes us happy all the time, because then we hurt other people, in the long run, or other people don't feel like their feelings or their opinions are heard. And then it can be interpreted, or you can then be, portrayed or viewed as insensitive, So I feel like kind of maybe what's going on and what you are reaping can be success, but not success that satisfies your soul. Because there's a difference between, success in terms of maybe your vocation, your job, or maybe how much money's in the bank, and hey, everyone loves a check, right? But what's your soul telling you? Are you happy as an individual beyond the materialistic things? And it's important to always, like I said, use our intuition, because it helps guide us and it keeps us balanced in life. And, we must make those decisions about, or maybe we must make certain decisions with our feelings in mind, but also other people's. Like we need to always put ourselves in that person's shoes and see how they would, or how we would feel, if we were them. And if the answer is, bad or worse than they already are feeling, it's probably not the best decision, But okay, Sag, I think that wraps up your reading here. So yeah, if you'd like to take advantage of the opportunity to actually get the private reading for that discount, go ahead and check the description box. And that sounded weird, right? The opportunity. I'm sorry about that. If you would like to take advantage of the discount, let's put it that way, and of the lover spread, go ahead and see the description box, and yeah, go ahead and go on the website, sign yourself up, book yourself, PayPal, do the whole works, and we'll get you started and get you, you know, squeezed in. All right, I think that concludes your reading. Okay, we'll see you next time.